Electric vehicles have come a long way towards bridging the gap with gas. And at this new IONNA rechargery station here in Larkspur, California, they've added one more to the mix: prison break electric vehicle recharging. We can now take any of our electric vehicles here, recharge them here at this IONNA station, and be ready for your new prison break getaway from San Quentin, just 5 minutes down the road. There couldn't be a better location to charge your electric vehicle for your getaway than right here at the new IONNA station, right here in Larkspur. This new station has just opened up, and it's just right across the street from a couple critical infrastructure areas here in the Bay Area. So right across at the Marin Country Mart is where we have a ton of amenities to go to. There's also a courtyard hotel right here. So this is where you can stay while waiting for your prison break to occur. Inside the hotel, there are restrooms and ATM. There is a bar even that's open at night. There are snacks and water and other things available. Keep in mind, hotel pricing goes along with some of that stuff. So just, budget for that. Across the way there, there's a Shake Shack, even a donut shop, all kinds of amenities that you can walk across the street while you're charging for that. So that's pretty darn awesome. Just past that is the San Francisco Bay Ferry. So you can have a number of different ways to get your escape to wherever it is you need to go. Joining me today is the Bay Area Rivian Club. So we are here plugging in our vehicles, giving these Alpitronic HYC400s a good test, getting everything going, ramping them up. I've got my Lightning here that I'm about to plug in. We've got a couple Rivian R1Ts. We've got a Rivian R1S that just pulled up. We're gonna get these things ramped up. We're gonna get them going through their paces. We're gonna challenge them, make sure that they're all working the right way. When they opened them up, they did a special at 20 cents per kilowatt hour. So IONNA is trying to expand these across the Bay Area. This one here is in the North Bay of Marin. They've also opened up one down in San Jose. These are just going to be their smaller ones. There's no canopies, but they do still have some amenities. You'll notice at this location, there are 7 chargers. So we're gonna take a quick walkthrough of that. We're gonna see how the charging works and the displays on the Alpitronics. So join me for that next. Stay tuned. Bo Family EV is checking out our first Northern California IONNA station. All right, so one of the things here, and I did this intentionally, is I parked the truck backwards like you normally would for a Tesla supercharger if you were a Tesla, but I did this to demonstrate this amazing cable management system here. So this is going to allow me to stretch this all the way to the front of the truck. Normally you wouldn't do this. You would pull it up just like this R1T is here, but I did this just to demonstrate how cool this cable system is that Alpitronic has made. So I can grab this handle here and take this system and pull this out. And this system, you can see that pulls out the way it does from the top. This is super light. And you can see how far beyond the truck I can actually go here, well beyond the nose of the Lightning, which is one of the longer vehicles that you're ever gonna see from an EV. This well exceeds what I need for the Lightning. We're gonna plug it in. There we go. Let's get this thing charging, see what it does. Come up to the payment terminal, you got a couple options. You can tap your credit card on the payer. You can use the app, or in this case, I just used Plug and Charge. So you can see here, if I can shade it, I'm at 52% state of charge. It is ramping up, 180 kilowatts. Let's see if we can reach 190. 190, 193 is about the most I've ever seen. 185, 186. Looks like it's gonna top off right about there, which again at 53% state of charge is not bad at all. It's about normal for the Lightning. Let's see if we can go to charging detail here, which is one of the cool things, again, about these. You can see that it gives you this amazing graph. I'm gonna try to shade as best I can this glare, so sorry about that, guys. You can see the current is at 499, 500 amps, just hit the 500 amp mark. Voltage is at 374, and we're now at 54% state of charge. So 187 kilowatts is what it kicked up to. So that's where we're at right now. So that's pretty awesome, you know? And you just love being able to see this. Again, I wish that glare wasn't quite so bad. I apologize, guys. Not really a way to shield that. But we'll check back on this graph in a little bit. But that's one of the amazing things about the Alpitronic, is being able to get this data about your vehicle, see the charge curve, see how many amps that it's getting, see the voltage, see all of this nerd data that a vehicle like my Lightning doesn't natively show unless you've got some kind of app. So yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about this. I wish more chargers, and I wish, frankly, more vehicles did this kind of thing. So let's just do a quick walk around tour of the site. You've got the Courtyard by Marriott behind me. On one end of the 7 stations, you've got this NACS station here. Each station has 2 ports, so you've got 14 altogether. Most of them also, if you notice back here, have a trash can and a squeegee, which is awesome to see. So on this end, you've got a NACS, and then on that end, all the way over there, you've got a NACS, and then everything in between is CCS. And the data shows that that's kind of the right ratio for the vehicles that are plugging in. And they've got so many superchargers that a lot of Tesla owners are going to those. But you do have more and more vehicles that are getting native NACS connectors. And so over time, they can always, of course, switch out these cables. So then you've got, of course, your CCS that is in between. And here you can see, as we progress through with the Rivian Club, you've got this amazing R1S here, followed by another R1S. These things are the #1 selling luxury SUV in all of California. So especially up here in the Larkspur area, you're going to see a lot of these R1Ss. So you've got these 2 Alpitronics right now charging up these R1Ss. And then over here, we've kind of got the truck section. That just happens to be how it was laid out. But you've got the R1T right over here charging with my Lightning that's plugged in. And then again, these 2 are all CCSs. And then over here, you've got another one. And one of the great things here is that, again, you can charge 2 at the same time. It will split that 400 kilowatts between the trucks. And then over here, we then have another NACS connector at the end. So it is bookended here at this site by NACS connectors, and then CCS, everything in between. And then once again, you'll see right behind it, if you take a look, it's got the squeegee. So yeah, and then you've got, again, the hotel, and you've got right behind us is the shopping centers. And don't forget the prison right down the road. So everything you can need right here at this location, pretty well done. Now, in terms of what's powering all of this, centrally located here, you've got the transformer. So here is the transformer, and then all of the power electronics and everything that goes along with that. So if we go take a look here, let's see what this shows on the cabinets. Let's see if it's got any information here. Shows that it's an ABB cabinet on the outside. I don't see any labeling on this cabinet, so I can't tell any of that data. Sometimes I know you guys love to see it, but I don't see any kind of labeling here on the transformer or on the switchgear or any of the cabinetry that I see. So I know you guys like to see some of that stuff, but I don't have any of that to share with you guys. And I am not smart enough to tell by looking at it what it is that I am seeing. But it does have a transformer weight. If that tells you anything, you're welcome to figure that out. But here is the equipment that is powering this amazing site. Now you can see behind me at the Marin Country Mart, there is lots of activity. It is a weekend, of course, so you would expect to see a ton of folks here during the day, but there is a lot of people that could use EV charging, so it's a great location for that. It is not located necessarily off a main highway, but it does come across the bridge from the East Bay over here to the North Bay of Marin County. It's not in a major thoroughfare, so this is not going to be one of the big rechargeries. This is more of what they would call, I guess, a satellite. There is not a big solar canopy. That is one of the things I do wish I would see here. There is plenty of sunlight, even though I'm in the shade now, and there are trees behind me. There are lots and lots of blue, sunny skies regularly in this area, especially as we get closer to the summertime. It is end of February here, so it's not necessarily the sunniest time of year, but there is plenty of sun available. So I do wish we had the canopies here. That is one thing that is missing, but hopefully as they expand further into Northern California, we'll see more of those. The San Jose location also doesn't have that. It's more of this kind of satellite system. So love to see IONNA continue to expand into the Bay Area with some of those larger kind of beacon locations that have the kind of full amenities, the stores, and the solar canopies. That is something I really look forward to being able to cover in the future. So let's get started with one of those. Let's ground break one of those amazing sites. I can't wait to see that. Okay, I just missed the end of the charging stopping there. I did stop at 70% since I live local. No reason to really go beyond that. But it was under $6 and under 10 minutes for a 20% boost. And it did get as high as 191 kilowatts. And even at 70%, was still pulling 125 kilowatts. So that is just how amazing these Alpitronic chargers are. Can't complain about that. So super happy about that. Hoping to see a lot more of these pop up around the Bay Area. That is one of the distinct advantages of having an all-in-one charger versus a distributed power system the way we see with a Tesla supercharger or a Kempower. They are totally different approaches to charging. Now, in terms of the way that they have sites set up, each one of these is going to take 400 kilowatts, and you can split it across 2 vehicles or have all of it go directly into 1 vehicle. And so that makes things like my previous video where I was trying to do the Ford Lightning and the Silverado at the new 500 kilowatt Tesla supercharger in Redwood City, that makes that not a problem because everything can be dedicated to 1 vehicle when necessary, instead of split across an entire site where we saw that be a problem. We had to do the Lucid Gravity out at midnight at that location. That's not going to be the case, but it also kind of helps you save costs where that location will have 16 chargers and only 2 cabinets that spread that cost across the cabinets. In terms of install cost, it's going to be a lot more expensive, I imagine, for each of these individual chargers and all of the hardware that goes into them to be able to convert that power. That's probably, in terms of the investment, a lot more expensive to build out one of these locations versus what Tesla is able to deploy. So it's all about the cost benefit. So there are advantages and disadvantages to each approach. But I have to say, in terms of the user experience, it's hard not to love when you can go up to one of these cabinets and know that you're going to get at least 200 kilowatts out of it, even if you've got 2 vehicles plugged in like we've got here with the R1T and the Lightning. Boy, that's pretty awesome. So I've got Zach with me from the Bay Area Rivian Club. We've got a couple of swag items that IONNA sent along. Let's have him show us some of this and talk a little bit about what the Bay Area Rivian Club does in this area. Zach, tell us a little bit more.
Darcy and Catherine, the part of the communications team over at IONNA, for sending over this awesome swag for us this morning. So they sent over some hats. We got some awesome little stickers. They sent some great coffee mugs. I used mine this morning, and some really cool record player air fresheners. And each one of the scents is IONNA branded, and they're all different colors or different scents, and they look like little records. So that's really cool. But yeah, we're out here. This is the first event for 2026 for the Bay Area Rivian Club. It's kind of one of our smaller ones. We call these Rivians and Refreshments. But we've got a whole bunch of other things going on. Like this April, we've got probably one of the oldest traditions in the Rivian community. Breakfast at Alice's Restaurant out in, shoot, I'm drawing a blank on it, but we'll just say like the Pacifica Half Moon Bay Area. We've got about 50 Rivians RSVP'd for that right now, so it's going to be a huge party. It's going to be great. We're going to do a scenic drive afterwards. This year we're also bringing back a very popular event called Gary's Jamboree. Some of you guys might have remembered seeing some photos a couple years ago of Jimmy from Rivian Stories dressed up as Gear Guard Gary running around out in the middle of the wilderness. That was at Gary's Jamboree. Plus, we've got a whole bunch of other really cool like off-roading trips and other scenic drives and everything else going on. So you can check us out, BayAreaRivianClub.com. Our event calendar is on there, and we try to keep that updated as much as we can. And love to see you guys come out if you own a Rivian and you're in the Bay Area. Even if you're not and you're just visiting, just come out and see us.
Awesome. What are you driving?
I got my 2023 Rivian R1T Launch Edition quad motor in a beautiful red canyon. Kind of what I'm known for. Got my Bay Area Rivian Club sticker on the back. Got some here as well as NorCal EVs. Got to promote them. NorCalEVs.org. And yeah, I've had this truck for almost 2 years. Put about 40,000 miles on it in that time. And yeah.
Love it, man. Well, thanks for giving me the invite, letting me tag along.
Of course.
Let's check out. I'm here with NorCal EVs myself, so don't forget to check out Bay Area Rivian Club and NorCal EVs if you're in the area. So as we wrap up with my friends at the Rivian Club, let me know what you think. Have you been able to charge at one of the IONNAs? What do you think about them? Do you prefer the all-in-one type of cabinets like we see here? Do you enjoy more of the Tesla experience where it's distributed, but they're so dang reliable and they're just everywhere, and it's easier to deploy them when there's that lower cost of deployment? What do you think? What do you prefer? Would you like to see more of the Kempower or Tesla satellite systems where you've got the big cabinets that are set up, and then you've got the satellites or the dispensers that are smaller and easier to have lots of them? Or would you rather have the all-in-one cabinets, which individually are more powerful and they're less likely to derate, but there's probably fewer of them, which sometimes causes bigger lines, and that can be an issue in and of itself. So I don't know, what's your thought? Leave them in the comment, and we will see you on the next one.